long-standing?
We've been engaged these past 4 years.
4 years?
Yes, but we have known each other for far longer. He was a pupil for many years with my uncle. He visited us there recently, in fact. I suppose just before he visited you here.
You are his friend in Plymouth.
I am. Oh no,
Lucy, what is that song the doctor was asking me to sing last Thursday? Pardon my interruption.
Did you think him sadly out of spirits? Poor Edward, it does break his heart terribly for us to be separated. I set him a lock of my hair in a ring, and he said that that was some comfort, but not equal to us being together. Might we see you in London this winter?
No.
That is a pity. We could have spent many happy hours together. Anne and I are going to visit some relations in December, but I really am going to see my darling Edward. I will, of course, give him your very, very best.
My dear Miss Dashwoods, gather round, gather round. I have a wonderful proposal for you, my girls. Every winter, you know. I am in the habit of removing to a nice stomp in London. But this year I have been scheming, my little chickens, and I have hit upon it. You both must come with me to town as my guests and keep a stupid old woman hopping.
I do thank you, ma'am. It is a very kind offer. But I'm afraid we cannot leave my mother.
Who? I'm sure she will not object. On the contrary, she will think me rather fit to procure you both a bevy of eligible, young London bachelors.
Miss Marianne seems eager enough. Our Mr. Willoughby lives in town, does he not?
One or the other of you I must have. I cannot live poking around by myself.
I so sincerely thank you, ma'am, but I must ask my mother's consent first. But I assure you that this is the greatest happiness I could ever think of.
That certainly sounds promising.
We will consult Mama, yes, but I do think she'll decide against it.
It is a wonderful plan.
May not I go?
Perhaps in a few years, my dear.
In a few years, I will be beyond all improvement.
Mama, I do not think this is prudent. Although Mrs. Jennings has a good heart, her protection cannot give us consequence in London.
If Eleanor is frightened away by Mrs. Jennings, that does not prevent my accepting of her.
What a miraculous display of enthusiasm towards Mrs. Jennings.
I will have you both go. These objections are nonsensical. You will enjoy touring London. And if Eleanor would ever condescend to anticipate this enjoyment, she might foresee having a very interesting time. John and Fanny always enter town, and you shall have to visit them. And perhaps when doing so, you may encounter some other members of the Ferrars family.
Farers.
I like Mr. Edward Ferrars well enough, but that's scarcely the reason to go all the way to London.
Must you always be so cold?
Marianne!
Eleanor, don't you understand that going to town may secure both of our happiness forever? A Miss Coasty Willoughby or I will go mad!
Please, promise me that you'll behave yourself. Marianne, I'm renting home tomorrow.
I am not writing to Mother. Has any letter been delivered to me today?
None of this.
For me?
No, my mistress, let you know.
So you are expecting a letter then?
No.
You have no confidence in me, Marianne.
Eleanor, this reproach is from you. You who confide in no one.
Marianne, once again, I have nothing to tell.
Neither do I. Neither of our situations are then alike. You because you did not communicate, and I because I conceal nothing.
Marianne.
Eleanor, look who it is!
Miss Dashwood, I'm pleased to see you in London. Is it true? Is your sister engaged to Mr. Willoughby?
Though they've never told me of their terms, of their mutual affection, I have no doubt. And I'm not surprised to hear of their engagement.
Then to your sister, I wish all imaginable happiness. To Willoughby, that he may endeavour to deserve her.
Gone by and still no visit from Mr. Willoughby. It must be very teasing to you, Miss Marianne. But at the ball there will be many pretty fellows to attend upon you, and I'm sure Mr. Willoughby will turn up sharpish when he hears how many gentlemen you dance with tonight.
'Town, which you were so good as to send me. Please, do excuse me.
Marianne, be composed. Do not betray to what you feel to everybody present.
Eleanor, make him come back to me.
Marianne, no. With everybody watching, not now, dearest, please.
Eleanor, I am unwell. I am very unwell.
sure you will find your liking. My, I never saw a young woman so desperately in love in all my life. Pray, when are they to be married?
You don't really, ma'am, believe that my sister's engaged to Mr. Willoughby? I always thought you were only joking.
For shame, Miss Eleanor. How can you talk so? We all know they were madly in love with each other from the first moment they met. All of society knows it from here to Devonshire and back again. I tell everybody of it myself.
Indeed, ma'am, you're very much mistaken. You're doing a very unkind thing in spreading the report.
Yes, yes, you're a very clever and selfless creature. Mum's a word until the rings are on, hey? Well, I'm off to visit my Charlotte, but I've asked cook to lay out a nice breakfast for you two to serve yourselves. Ta-ta!
My dear madam, I gather that something in my behavior last night did not meet with your approval. Although I'm at loss as to how I offended you, allow me to be plain. I'm sorry if you ever mistook my friendship for something more. But you must acknowledge that anything of that nature is and has been impossible, as my affections have long been engaged with another young lady, John Willoughby.
Eleanor, what shall I do? What shall I do?
Marianne, please, try to stay calm.
How can I be calm?
What good does it do to become hysterical?
Leave me if it upsets you so much.
Do not indulge in this display.
Leave me, hate me, but do not ask me how to feel.
Marianne, it could have been worse. Your engagement could have gone on much longer before he ended it.
What engagement?
You weren't engaged. But Marianne, you wrote to him.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! How do you do, my dear? Poor thing, she looks very bad. And it is no wonder but true. He's to be married very soon, I've heard. But he's not the only man in the world worth having, Miss Marianne. Soon you'll be meeting them with the stout sick. Yes, have your little cry out. Luckily, we're having a dinner party tonight, and that will amuse her.
It is very kind of you, ma'am, but I do not think that Marianne will be leaving her room tonight.
I don't think that a young man should use a pretty girl so ill. But when there is plenty of money on one side and none on the other.
The lady, then, is very rich?
50,000 pounds. The young Miss Gray, a stylish girl, they say, but not handsome. 50,000 pounds. It'll be all the better for her. Now, Chuck's over with you. They'll be married by midsummer.
All she wants is gossip because I supply her with it.
Marianne,
I do not want to talk.
I'll leave you then. Promise me you'll rest.
I recollected that I had some fine old Constantia wine in the house, so I bought a glass over it for your sister. My poor husband had a sip of it whenever he had a touch of the scout.
How good you are, man.
Miss, Colonel Brennan.
I'm afraid Mrs. Jennings is away from home, Colonel.
And your sister?
Marianne is unwell.
Perhaps then. What I heard this morning, there may be more truth in it, but possible,
What did you hear?
concerned a certain gentleman.
You mean Mr. Willoughby's sudden engagement to Miss Gray? Did you also know that Miss Gray has 50,000 pounds?
How's your sister?
Her sufferings have been severe.
Miss Dashwood, I may be able to offer some comfort. Not comfort, but I may be able to relate some history that may bring some clarity about Mr. Willoughby.
Please go on.
You may find me a very awkward narrator.
Please.
In my youth, I knew a lady who was very much like your sister Marianne, both in person and in temperament. I loved her, and she loved me in return. But Eliza had no fortune, and I was a young man with no independence and no occupation. I was under my father's power. He forbade the match, of course, so marriage with this guy was impossible, it was unthinkable. And though I protested violently, I'm ashamed to say that he won his point alas. Threatened with inheritance and disownment, I faltered. And Eliza was sent away. At 17, I was shipped off to a regiment in the East Indies. There I lost contact with Eliza entirely. A man came along, treated her kindly for a time, then another, then another. I returned to England, a grown man, independent, determined to find her. By the time I did, she was dying in a poorhouse, an infant by her side. You may have heard the rumors about Miss Jane Williams. She is Eliza's daughter, whom I sought to look after as my own. That was 15 years ago. Last March, Jane suddenly disappeared from a boarding school. For months I couldn't find her. And finally, I received a letter. That night I left Barton so suddenly. In it, she did not name the man who seduced her. His luck. For I would have done him violence at the table, even as he enjoyed your sister's smiles.
Mr. Willoughby!
He left Jane in a situation of utmost distress. No home, no help, no friends. Ignorant of his whereabouts. She is 15, and now she's pregnant.
This is beyond everything!
When it came to the last week, I thought all was settled between your sister and Mr. Willoughby. I did not know how to stop the marriage, but scandal for both her and my poor Jane.
Who knows what his designs on Marianne were?
I promise, Miss Dashwood, if I do not from my heart believe that this will lessen Miss Marianne's regret, I will not trouble her with such burning information. I'm sure of you for your sister.
Marianne, before I write to Mama, there's something I need to tell you.
I suppose you've heard of Mr. Willoughby's very expeditious nuptials?
I heard his creditors breathed much easier.
I heard Miss Grey wore orange blossoms to their wedding. Orange blossoms at this time of the year?
I hear the lady of Miss Dashwood is broken-hearted and very ill, corresponding now.
Indeed. Oh yes, she wrote to him openly.
Very forward of her.
No one to keep her in check.
The father is dead, you know.
Well, I mean, what can you expect?
I heard she went out riding with him. Alone.
I'm not surprised.
I'm sure the young Miss Dashwood's run quite wild.
And no money at all to speak of.
Then what does she expect?
Poor girl.
Silly girl.
Very forward, very foolish.
What a waste.
And so you see, Marianne, you never really knew Mr. Willoughby.
I would sooner think myself to be deceived by all the world than by Willoughby.
He has practiced nothing but deceit from beginning to end.
I cannot explain his actions towards that poor girl, but whatever his sins, I know that he'll love me. He loves me, and that much is true.
Did he tell you he loved you?
Yes? No?
Never absolutely, but it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. He's the worst kind of villain.
No, he isn't. Not at heart.
Well, whoever your enemy may be, let them be cheated of their child. Why wouldn't you rise above these circumstances?
You're not who knows that I am wretched. It is easy for those who have no sorrow to talk about calmness and exertion.
Do you think I have no sorrow, Marianne? Do you think me capable of being at ease when I see you in this state?
Forgive me. I know that you feel for me, and I'm very sorry to make you unhappy. But mine is a misery which nothing can ever do away from. I'm gonna go home.
Apologies, please.
Oh, my dear sister, so delightful to see you in town. You know, Fanny and I wanted to stop in on you earlier, but we've been so busy visiting and being visited.
Visit?
Visit?
Visit!
Pardon me.
Whatever's the matter with Marianne? She looks very unwell.
She's had a nervous complaint.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry for that. At her time of life, anything of illness destroys the bloom forever.
Too pale.
Too thin.
Too pale and thin.
She's not that thin.
You know, Fanny used to say that she was certainly wearing better than you did, but the way she looks now, I doubt she will ever catch a man worth more than 500 or 600 a year. Oh, you will excuse me, treating about marriage like an old dowager, but there is nothing that we've been talking about in my household except for that. It is finally time for Edward to settle, you know.
Is Edward to be married?
It is not betting down it entirely, but his mother has promised him his independence just as soon as he marries the honorable, really honorable Miss Moulton.
Lord Morton's daughter?
Well, she comes with £30,000.
£30,000?
And what does Edward think of this arrangement?
I do not think he knows of it yet. No doubt he will be delighted. It is an excellent match, but this is all to come. You know, in the meanwhile, we would like to invite you to a little dinner party that we're hosting. Oh, you man! Fanny is wild to see you.
A party?
A party?
Party, party, party!
Miss Steele,
Miss Dashwood? Miss Marianne?
and how do you happen to be here?
I may as well ask the same of you. I confess I'm amazed to see you, for you told me, you see, that you would never come up to town at all. And yet, here you are.
And why are you here? Why, we two and your sister-in-law are the fastest of friends. Isn't it funny? Last week we were in the sweetest little hat shop and we started to talk to the most elegant lady. And one thing led to another, and now here we are. Isn't that funny?
Oh, good. You all discovered each other already. What a small world it is, and you're all such friends already. Oh, come, ladies, let me introduce you.
Miss Dashwood, pray for me. In a moment I shall meet the woman who is to be my mother.
This is our host, Mrs. Ferrars. Oh, yes, ma'am. Mrs. Ferrars said that the Miss Steeles are exceedingly pretty.
Miss Dashwood? Robert Ferrars. You reside, I am told, in a cottage.
We do.
For my own part, I am excessively fond of a cottage. There is always so much elegance in a cottage. If I had any money to spare, I should build a cottage and have all my friends come visit me in my cottage. I advise everybody I see to build a cottage. My intimate friend, Lord Portland, of the Lancashire Portlands, came to me the other day and laid before me 3 different architectural schemes. Which one should I build, Robbie? Said he. My dear Cortland, said I, throwing them all direct into the fire. Do not build any of these deplorable shacks, but by all means build a cottage. A cottage, man, a cottage, a cottage, a cottage. And that was the end of that.
Indeed.
And you, Miss Steele, do you live in a cottage?
I do not.
More's the pity.
And that is Edward's brother. They are very unlike. Mrs. Dashwood, I cannot thank you enough for inviting Anne and I to dine tonight. We are quite overwhelmed by your generosity.
Please, Lucy. A woman like you will always be welcome here. In fact, yes, Mama was just saying how rare it is to find women as pretty and respectful as leisurely Miss Steele.
Oh, Mrs. Ferrars, I cannot thank you enough. I truly could stay here forever. Your house is so lovely, and these sketches on the wall, so well executed. Did you paint them, Mrs. Dashwood?
These were done by Eleanor, actually.
You know, we should get Miss Morton to paint these. Miss Morton does sketch so wonderfully.
Oh, yes, but she does everything well.
And who is Miss Morton? Eleanor made these and they're beautiful.
Miss Morton is Lord Morton's daughter.
Dear, dear Eleanor, do not mind them. Don't let them make you unhappy.
Shall we go for dinner?
My dearest, dearest friend, can you believe it?
What exactly?
Did you not see Mrs. Ferrars' way of treating me yesterday? So exceedingly kind.
She was certainly very civil to you.
Did you see nothing but civility?
If his parents knew of your engagement, there'd be nothing more promising than that
Why
you
would they pretend to like me if they did not? Mrs. Ferrars is affability itself, and so is your sister-in-law, and I'm sure everything will turn out splendidly, and all my fears were for nothing.
I suppose time will tell.
Why did you never mention, Miss Dashwood, how exceedingly generous your sister-in-law is? She truly is generosity itself. She wrote Anne and I a little note this morning inviting us both to stay with her for a bit. Isn't that very delightful? Are you unwell, Miss Dashwood? You seem rather low.
I've never been in better health.
Really? You do not look it. Oh, I am so happy that Mrs. Ferrars loves me already. It is such a relief. For I know that when she does dislike people, it can be most unshakable and violent.
Miss, Edward Ferrars.
Mr. Ferrars!
Miss Dashwood, Miss